Good morning, students. In the last video, you have seen cellular respiration, respiration in plants, and respiration in aquatic organisms. In the last video, we have discussed that fishes respire through gills. Gills, they are just pages-like structure that it is equivalent to pages in your book. So this is how fish respires. Earthworm respire through skin. That's why you have always seen earthworm in the moist place. What it does, it actually absorbs the dissolved oxygen in the moisture through its skin. Frog can respire through nostril as well as lungs. So when it is outside the land, it actually respires through lungs. When it is inside the moist land, moist soil, it respires through skin. Now this will be something new for you. If you can imagine any insect, cockroach, grasshopper, any insect, they have a special respiratory system that is known as tracheal system. It is because of this trachea. So basically, these trachea directly opens to the outside through spiracle. That means insects actually take in the oxygen through this spiracle and it travels through trachea and then tracheole. Now today specifically we are going to talk about the respiration in human beings. So if we talk about the respiration, you can imagine that just try to inhale the oxygenated air through your nostrils. After that it is going to a long tube and after that it is going finally to the lungs. This is normally what happens in respiration or breathing. But while the breathing process is going on, when you inhale the oxygen, what happens to that oxygen? Now just imagine, from all the body, the deoxygenated blood means the blood which is carrying carbon dioxide, will come to the lungs to exchange the carbon dioxide with oxygen. Just imagine. So all the body, deoxygenated blood from the body is going to the lungs, where it will actually release the carbon dioxide and take the oxygen which you have just inhaled, and after that it will go to the other parts of the body. So this is how whenever you exhale, you actually exhale carbon dioxide. Now today we are going to see each and every part of human respiratory system. And first of all, it will start with nasal cavity, that is nostrils. After that it goes through throat, then bronchi, you can see that in the diagram. Then bronchi further divides into bronchioles and ultimately it will go to alveoli. Now if you inhale the air, you can just feel that you have nostrils, you have two nostrils that actually has fine hairs. Fine hairs means it has thin hairs. These fine hairs actually have a very important role. You know, whenever we inhale the air, lot of dust particle, lot of pollution particles maybe come along through that air. So these fine hairs actually try to catch it, actually try to purify that air. Apart from that, we also have mucus. Mucus is a sticky substance that is present in our nose that actually catch up those dust particles. So this fine hairs and mucus in the nasal cavity actually purify the air so that the air can go back to the throat. Before this, whenever we inhale the air, the temperature of air is quite hot. So this long chamber from your nostril to the throat will also help to cool down the air. After that, this nostril will actually merge into the common nasal chamber. This nasal chamber opens into pharynx. You have already studied pharynx in digestive system. It is just the part behind the buccal cavity. This pharynx after that divides into two parts. The front one is known as larynx and the portion which is in the pipe which is present on the back side is foot pipe. Now you can just imagine your respiratory system is in the front part as compared to your digestive system. So this pharynx, when open into the larynx, the air actually passes from pharynx to larynx. This larynx is also known as sound box. In male, these larynx is protruded. If you can touch your throat, you will feel it. All the males, they have a protruded larynx, that is known as Adam's apple. As well as female doesn't have a protruded larynx, and this is the reason why males have lower pitch voice and females have high pitch voice. We need this larynx, we need air to speak something, because this sound is produced by air along with the larynx. Now just touch your throat region, you will feel that there are some rings over there. If you can touch it, so there are some rings present all over the trachea. So why it is present, just see in this diagram. These rings protects the larynx from collapsing. As you can understand that whenever we inhale or exhale, might be possible sometime may put lot of pressure. This pressure may cause collapsing of the trachea. So these cartilage rings actually helps the larynx to so that it cannot be collapsed. Now this, just look at this purple color tube like structure. This trachea will now divide into tube. That tube will be known as bronchi. That bronchi further divides into bronchioles. So this long tube, trachea will first divide into two smaller tubes. These two smaller tubes are known as bronchi, and when it further divides into small tubes, that small tubes will be known as bronchioles. After that, if you just see this diagram, it is very clear that how bronchi and bronchioles are present in our lungs. These bronchi will now terminate into a balloon-like structure, and this balloon-like structure is known as alveoli. You can see that it looks like a bunch of grapes, so these are alveoli. Alveoli is the structural and functional unit of lungs. As you already know that neurons are the structural and functional unit of the brain, nephron are the basic functional unit of our kidney. In the same way, these alveoli are the structural and functional unit of our lungs. Now we will see what happens when this oxygen and carbon dioxide is exchanged at the level of alveoli. This is a single alveoli, this blue color structure. Okay, so these blood capillaries are actually all over the alveoli. When blood capillaries come with from all the organs, it will carry carbon dioxide. Here you can see with the yellow color it is written. These carbon dioxide, the blood which is carrying carbon dioxide will actually release carbon dioxide in the alveolus, and it will take oxygen from the alveolus. So that is the exchange. Mean it is the blood vessels, the blood capillaries are actually giving out carbon dioxide that are coming from the different parts of the body and taking away oxygen. This is the site of gaseous exchange. Now this oxygen will be supplied to all over your body. Till now we have seen that how we inhale air from nostrils, after that it goes to pharynx, and after that it goes to larynx, and then the trachea divides into bronchi, then bronchi divides into bronchioles. These bronchioles after that divides into alveoli. Alveoli are the bag-like structure, they just look like the bunch of grapes. All this structure from the bronchi, from the trachea till the alveoli is actually saved, is actually protected by this bony structure known as rib cage. If you will touch the front part of your thoracic cavity, you will feel that there is a bony structure. This bony structure is known as, just a second, this bony structure is known as sternum. So just keep your hands on the sternum and try to inhale the air. When you inhale the air, you will feel that sternum is moving forward and upward. After that, you have seen these ribs, it might be possible in the skeleton. We all have 12 pair of ribs, that means total we have 24 ribs. From the back side, if you will touch your backbone, there are 26 vertebrae. This whole vertebra, out of this thoracic vertebra, that is 12 vertebrae, sternum, and from the side it is ribs. All these protect your respiratory system, forming a rib cage. And we have seen all the alveoli structure within this lungs. So we have a pair of lungs, that means we have two lungs. And if you can see in this diagram, there is a muscular structure below our lungs that is known as diaphragm. This diaphragm actually separates the thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity. It's just a muscular partition between thorax and abdominal cavity. So whenever we feel hiccups, actually it is the involuntary action of this diaphragm. Now let's do an activity. If I will tell you to exhale all the air present in your lungs, just exhale it as much as you can. At a point, you will not be able to exhale more. So what you will think that you have exhaled all the air which was present in your lungs, but actually not. Still, some of the volume, some of the air, some of the oxygen is still left in your lungs. That is known as residual volume. So because of this, when we inhale and when we exhale, there is quite some difference in that. There is quite time difference in that. So to cover at that time, we have this residual volume which is always present in our lungs. Now, if you press your finger and see the tip of your finger, you will see it is of red color. It is of red color because our blood contains hemoglobin. Hemoglobin that is red in color, but where this hemoglobin is present? Now just try to understand. Our blood has 5 different types of cells. Out of that we have red blood cell, that is RBC. It is red in color because it has hemoglobin. So, hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment in human beings. What is the role of hemoglobin in RBC? If you can see in this diagram, there are a lot of RBC. What it is doing? RBCs are going from one place to another, and in the RBC we have hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin will just act as a transport system for the oxygen. Each single hemoglobin will carry 4 oxygen molecule along with it, and there is lot of hemoglobin which is present in RBC. So along with this RBC, hemoglobin is there, and hemoglobin is working as a seat for the oxygen. Now you can imagine, if RBC is the bus, then hemoglobin will be the seat and oxygen will be the passenger. So oxygen as a passenger are sitting on the hemoglobin, are sticking to the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is present in the RBC. This is how oxygen from alveoli is passed through all over the body. Okay, now there is an interesting fact about hemoglobin. The main function which we have discussed is to transport the oxygen. But you know what will happen? If we place a hemoglobin somewhere and it has two options, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen, and if we can ask hemoglobin that with which gas it want to go, it will choose carbon dioxide. That means in comparison to oxygen, hemoglobin has much more affinity towards carbon dioxide. And there's a fact given that more than carbon dioxide, it has more affinity towards carbon monoxide. You might have heard about this conditions a lot of time, that we should not sleep in a room where there's a burning fire or we are burning something, because whenever something burns, it releases carbon monoxide, and our RBCs have got a high affinity towards carbon monoxide. These carbon monoxide, when stick to our hemoglobin, may cause respiratory disorder. It may be cause failure in respiratory system, or in some condition it may also lead to death of the human being. So these hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment, and the color of hemoglobin is red. So the heme part, if you can see that spelling that's wrong here, but still, heme means iron part, globin means protein part. So this protein along with the iron forms hemoglobin. Okay, now you might be thinking that from last 12 to 13 minutes we are discussing about this respiratory system and it is quite complicated. So why didn't we have simple diffusion in our body? Means instead of having this nostril, instead of having this all of the structure, the uh, the oxygen can directly go through diffusion. Why we are having a complicated system? You know, if we will not have alveoli, then it may take 3 years for a molecule of oxygen to reach from our lungs to our toes, and might be possible before that definitely a person will die. Diffusion process is much more slower than you think. So basically we need a faster process. That faster process is only possible through respiratory system. This was all about human respiratory system. Now just revise it what we have studied. It starts with nasal cavity. After that, air passes through pharynx. After that, it goes to larynx. And after that, there's a trachea. All over the trachea, we have some rings of cartilage that you have just touched. After that, trachea divides into bronchi. This bronchi further divides into bronchioles, and bronchioles open into a balloon-like structure that is known as alveoli.